Welcome back everybody. Today I wanted to show you the things that I've printed so far with my AnkerMake M5 and the 4 days that I've had it. So let's take a look at what we've got. We'll start with the very first thing that I printed, which was the preloaded benchy on the printer. So that came out decent. There's some seam imperfections and things like that, but overall pretty decent. Just stock settings, whatever was loaded into the pre-baked file. And then after that, I printed an octopus. I went straight to a moving piece and it printed pretty well. Now onto my favorite print that I've done so far is this copper silk Mandalorian model. This thing is really cool, and this is actually a gift for somebody at work, and I'm excited to see their reaction when they get it. I started off by printing a mini version of this, half size, 50%, and it turned out really well, and I wanted to just go for it bigger, so I did, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. Next, I have the 3D printed ocarina. This is a 12-hole ocarina, and it's in the copper silk as well, like the Mandalorian, and it sounds really good. I mean, this was my first ocarina, so I'm not great at playing it yet, but I'm really pleased with how it came out. It's a little bit stripy with some like variation in the filament as it went, but overall I think it looks pretty cool. Here's a little sneak peek of how it sounds. And then I have printed a few tools. This one I just printed today. This was the preloaded spatula on the M5, and I haven't even used it yet, but I assume it would work fine. I also printed this hex double-sided scraper. Next, I also printed a few other things for gifts. These are some Star Wars pieced together models. We got an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter, and they're snowflake versions because it's winter and Christmas, and these are going to be Christmas gifts. So I've got those that I'll give to my coworker to put together. And then I've also got these two keys. This is the key to Erebor from the Hobbit movies. One of them printed really well, but part of this ring failed. And this other one, the supports did not want to come off. This other one was without supports, but that's what made it fail. So I kind of spliced the two together and made it work like I could. And then this was my first fail. This was a phone stand, and the tree supports that were printing up the middle were just not dense enough. And it started wobbling, and then it fell over, and then it was printing midair. And then it probably would have finished, but I touched it, and this front part came off the print bed, and that was it for that. This is part of this gift here. It's kind of being, the glue's drying, so it's a Happy New Year's thingy, and then it's the dual stand that turns it into a little thing. But the pieces didn't match up right, but that's actually what's printing now, is the replacement for this, where I modified the distance of this so that it would fit properly on this piece. So we may even see that when that finishes, if we can. Wow, that was really good timing. It just finished. So we'll let that cool down for a second, and then we'll see if the replacement works for this. So next, let's go over some of the tools that I found myself using in my time with the M5. So the first thing, and probably the biggest thing, are these cutters, snippers that came in the AnkerMake toolkit. Again, I think it's a Kickstarter backer perk. Another thing is just like a multi-tool knife, pliers, got some super glue, a knife, got a pencil, Sharpie. I've also been logging my filament usage on my bigger rolls like this, so I know how much I've used and how much I might have left to use for prints. So that'll help me know if I have enough of a certain filament to print the next item. Also, I've just got my bigger rolls of filament in a Ziploc bag. It's not completely airtight, but at least it's a little bit better than just out in the air. And I've got any silica gel packets left hanging around, and I've just thrown them in here. Especially because I want to keep my copper and my silk ones nice, because those are my favorite filaments so far. Another thing I've used is the file, sand down a few things. Actually, the corners of these have been pretty sharp. And also the last thing is just a microfiber cloth with some rubbing alcohol. Used that a few times when I've seen smudges on the build plate, and I've just used that to clean them off. So let's take a look at this piece actually. While that's cooling off, I'll show you the amount of filament scrap waste. So not a whole lot, but some. All right, so now that this is cooled off, let's take that off. I really like the bendable plate. It really helps to get the prints off. And after every beginning of a print, you have these two little pieces that the printer goes along the back to clear off the nozzle. So there's always those. We got our piece. To replace this piece, this one I mutilated with a lighter and multiple knives, and it did not work, and it's not suitable to be a gift anymore because it's all burned. So now we've got this that I modified, the STL. Alright, so let's see if we can get this, or if our measurements worked out properly. So really just needs to slip on like that. Boom, a little bit of wiggle, but I'd rather it be a little bit wiggly than be impossible to get off. Because once it's all the way on, and once it's like setting down where it's gonna be, it's perfectly fine. There it is. All right, one more thing that I wanted to mention was this shark. And the shark didn't turn out really all that great, to be honest. The top of it is too thin, and you can see inside there's holes in it. The jaw seized shut. I haven't got it to open. I haven't tried too hard, but the teeth are fused together. Other than that, everything else looks fine on it. It is actually pretty sharp. The points of the fins are sharp. The tail is sharp. So honestly, it's not super kid-friendly like I thought it would be. And for anybody wondering, I don't even think it was in frame, but this is my first iteration of a mount for my camera that I can just slide it in and then plug in the cable and then unplug it and slip it out, because it's also my webcam that I use on my computer. And if you're wondering what camera it is the Insta360 Link. It's been good, pretty good so far. It's got good features. If you want to learn more about it, let me know, and maybe I'll make a video about it. But yeah, that's it. That's what I've printed so far on my AnkerMake M5. So far, I'm really impressed with the speed of this. To print this in maybe 2 to 3 hours is pretty crazy. And like I've always been saying, this is my first 3D printer, so I really don't know how big the difference is between a normal 3D printer. But from what I've seen videos, those ones are super slow. Anyway, so that does it for this video. I hope this was kind of insightful, or at least somewhat enjoyable. I don't know. We're already up to 46 subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody who's subscribed so far. I really hope you're enjoying your stay. If you like more ad-lib videos like this, let me know. And until the next video, keep it cool. Nailed it.